everyone. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. We are so thrilled to bring you to our May Spotlight feature. This amazing brand and amazing person all in one. So definitely to kind of give you an idea, we are going to introduce both me and the co-host. Then we're gonna pretty much open the floor up. Our spotlight has the floor, so you can really hone in on her brand, who she is, how she started, and get a little bit more deeper and dive from her. Then we'll go into some Q&A, some questions so that you can really get in touch with what she does and why she does it. We'll go and to continue from there so that you can understand her ask as well as how to connect with her and some things that she may have coming up for the upcoming summer. So with that being said, my name is Taishita. I am the founder of Luxury Travels by Dreamy Designer Events, where we curate elite vacations worldwide as well as facilitate retreats so people can rediscover their self, rediscover their purpose, and realign with what they want to do in life. So I'm going to pass it on to Star.
Hey again, I'm Star Dixon. I'm the founder of Mitsu's, an online brand crafted for the home storytellers. We help hosts and tastemakers express their personal style, creativity, and the essence of their lives through thoughtfully curated decor. Just as home decor tells a story, so does every sip of a well-crafted tea. That's why we're excited to introduce you to Akiah, founder of Steaped To Perfection. Akiah is a Bronx-born tea lover who is redefining iced tea with bold flavors and real fruit juices. What began as a personal escape evolved into a mission to transform tea from old-fashioned to daily luxury. Through custom blends and refreshing creations, she invites you to sip, relax, and enjoy a moment of bliss. So, floor is yours, Akiah.
Oh, wow. Need I say more? Thank you both of you for that introduction and just for what you do. Is super, super appreciated and very much needed. And that was really the thought behind Steep to Perfection. So, as Sarah mentioned, I am a Bronx native. And after I graduated college, I really, really, really dove into creating a career, right? Because that's what they say you're supposed to do. And what I found was that I was just so overwhelmed. I felt tired. I felt just overstimulated. And I started to dig into tea, right? I loved tea as a child, and I just kind of tapped back into that. And I would take, my mother used to complain, I would take so long creating different tea mixtures, just blending different things together. I would create the tea bag, steep it, really like breathe in the tea, and then I would sip it and just really, really savor those notes and the different flavors that I created that day, whatever I was feeling. And that's the motivation behind the brand, right? I'm from the Bronx. I'm no stranger to the hustle, the grind, right? The city that never sleeps. And you just see people who, while they have good intentions, they're just tired. They're just overworked. They're just, they have a lot going on and they need that moment to really get back to themselves. And what Steep to Perfection really promotes is luxury without the cost, right? Luxury without having to miss work, right? That break from the day to day, the hustle, the grind, the keep going, the rat race in your own home. So what I do is, Sarah mentioned getting away from the old fashioned people like to call tea medicine for old people. And so I remixed it. I start to mix it with juices that I make, like freshly juiced apples, freshly juiced oranges, and it gives it a fresher taste, a more energetic, right? And it feels more like a drink. It feels fun, right? And then having that at your own in your own house and you creating it yourself just gives you another sense of control. And so I take different flavors such as jasmine. I use green tea, which I was never a fan of, but when you mix green tea with orange, now you get a different drink, okay? And it's more enjoyable and it's fun. Even something as simple as black tea. That's actually where I started, right? Every household has that box of black tea in the back of the cabinet. And so when I was younger, I'd mix it with like coconut milk, or I'd mix it with orange juice if we had. And I really said, like, okay, hold on, like I got something here. And that is what I do, right? So I mix these juices and I mix the teas, even blending different teas together and learning about how to use teas as bases. And so you get to really learn about where teas come from, the different regions, the different notes that they have, what they go with, what complements it. And so it's really a journey. It's a journey of luxury. It's a journey of a break for you. And then being able to celebrate that, celebrate the creation of the tea, and celebrating yourself. You really, listen, there's a lot you can get done in that moment of savoring, and it allows you to reflect, and it allows you to really celebrate yourself, most importantly. Celebrate the product, celebrate all that you've done, celebrate the work that you've done, but then celebrate, like, then in the moment, like, really celebrate this product that you've created. And so that's really what I promote. I do a lot of vendor events during the summer because I love hot tea, but iced tea is my thing. You can do so much with iced tea, and just that feeling of the coolness is so refreshing and energizing, and it just allows you to really savor the different notes of the tea. And so I do vendor events. It's where I get to meet such amazing people and different creatives, and just really branch out and hone into what more tea can be. It's really right. You have the phrase tea, and I really feel like that's more than just gossip. It's more than just like, oh, girl, tell me the business. You know what I mean? It's really sip tea and connect. Really sip tea and connect with other people, and really sit and connect with yourself. And so that's really the motivation behind Steeped to Perfection. I named it that strategically. A lot of times the word perfect gets it's kind of like, oh, nothing can ever be perfect. But the dictionary definition says any something that is as good as it can get in that moment, right? As good as possible. And that is what I do with these teas, right? Even as I'm making it, I'm like, I'm enjoying that process myself to be able to give that to someone else. And in addition to the amazing tasting tea, not to toot my own horn, but you get the energy of me really enjoying that process. And it's just perfect in that moment. That moment is perfect. That moment, and perfect meaning whatever that is to you, right? As good as it needs to get for you and what that looks like. And it's yours to create. So I make it in the bottles for you to enjoy, for you to really sit and savor that. But then you can make it yourself, right? I have loose leaf tea blends that you can make in your home, and you can mix it with different things. It's just fun, right? I'm into self-expression. I'm into art, and that's what I feel like tea is. It's a project. It's something that you can create. And so that's really the energy behind Steeped to Perfection, and what I really want people to enjoy as they sip my tea.
Yes. And honestly, it's definitely one of the amazings, as even in terms of the journey itself, because I had the advantage of tasting your amazing product, which I tasted it and then I actually wanted some to take home with me. So, so definitely it was very soothing, very relaxing. And it was definitely, I liked how you put a spin on it and you said you remixed it, because it's not your everyday where you got that tea box and the in your counter and in your cabinet, and you're like, ooh, let me try some of this, and you're like, I'm kind of tired of it, same taste, same flavor. It's definitely different, which I think that's really brings the uniqueness out of it, because it's not your everyday where you're like, it's just tea.
Right. But the great thing is that you can have it every day. So exciting, right? Every time you taste
Exactly.
it.
And it was refreshing because the one I had was during the summertime, so it was the iced tea, and oh yes, that hit different.
And I also feel like you tapping on what you both said, like the fact that it is something that is seen as just a luxury, but it's like, no, it's luxury that everyone can, it's attainable luxury. Like we can all live pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we all deserve it, most importantly.
Mhm.
Like,
Listen. So definitely really appreciate that. And that actually kind of leads into my next question in terms of, with you talking about how tea really helps to escape from stress, how did that personal experience shape the way that you create and share your blends with others and with the tea that you create?
oh yeah. So I know that I already have the love for tea. You know what I mean? Like I already have the want to explore different flavors, but a lot of people don't have that sense of exploration, right? They have the basics, or they have what big tea, these bigger tea brands have, and they just kind of accept that. And so in wanting folks to branch out, what I do is I use popular, maybe like fruit. I use popular flavors like orange or lemon, and I mix it with different kinds of tea. So I have like jasmine tea, which is my favorite. But a lot of people aren't into jasmine tea because it's so herbal, like it's really fragrant. But once you put the orange with it, it'll make people want to have more of it or want to explore different flavors. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. And actually, tapping into, as you were saying about like your favorite flavors, how do you choose like which flavors you want to go by, and what is the process like for you?
So I survey different bases, right? Because that's how I created. I have different bases. And of course, there's the ones that I love, the black tea, the green tea, and it's hard to explain. So I drink the tea, I make the base, I drink it, and I kind of aerate it and just kind of get a sense for like different notes that can go well with it. Also, as I'm trying new teas, so I actually just had a new juice, like a blend of juices. And as I'm drinking it, I found myself going, like that will go great with white tea, or like that'll go great with green tea. And then I just try it. Like I literally make like small batch and I try it. What I do is I allow others to taste it. I know that, as I said, I already have that love for tea, but a lot of people don't have that. And so I give like my family little shots of teas. And I'm like, hey, like taste it. What notes do you get? Do you like it? Like, do you see yourself drinking more of it? To kind of survey and see what people think. And honestly, there's some teas that I really love, and just put it out there. I just put it out there for people to try it, because you never know if you don't try it. And so I just listen. I just put it out there, and what I find is because it's natural, because it's not overly sweet, people enjoy it.
Yes. And I like how you said that too, because it is not, everyone has their own niche in terms of what they like and what's fitting for them. So definitely getting that feedback from people itself, it helps not only better your brand, but it also helps better understanding everybody else. So you can kind of cater it so that you can still put your passion into it and your creativity, but make sure that it's what people are going to enjoy as well, so they can have it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, one other thing I do on my social media is I survey. I survey my followers and I'm like, hey, what's your favorite flavors? And then getting that information, like I'll put a little spin on it. Maybe I'll use like cinnamon in a different kind of way just to kind of elevate that, right? I love pushing the boundary. I love exposing people to different flavor combinations, and so that's what I just use as the base.
Exactly, yeah. And it's so great. And it's funny because that also leads to my other question, which if there's someone that's new in terms of new into like tea in general, and their start as wanting to explore it, wanting to taste it, what do you personally recommend is a good one for someone to ease into exploring the different variations of teas?
Oh yeah. So I would recommend, right? So we all have like the black tea and lemon combo, like the iced tea that everyone likes. What I do is I make mine with lemongrass. And so it has the same kind of feel, but it's different, right? You feel the lemongrass. And so I would recommend that one. It gives you the sense of trying something new, but it's still a little comfortable. And then once you have the note of the lemongrass, because lemongrass is also something that's very fragrant, and as you drink it, you kind of get the scent of it like within. That's mainly what it is about teas. Like you really have to like drink and breathe it in. And so once they have that exposure to that process of really savoring the lemongrass, then the world it's just a new world. So I would definitely say that, right? It's not too different. It's still a little comfortable, but it's fancy enough that you'll want to try something else.
I mean, I would say like as a fragrance lover myself, I do like appreciate anything that's aromatic and things like that. So like I really connect with the ability and just like taking it in slowly to really just like shape how you're feeling throughout the day and stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It'll reset. It'll be a complete reset.
Yeah. And actually, to jump back from where you were speaking about like taking the leap, one of the questions that I do have is when it came to your first vendor event, how was that? And also, what made you want to actually take that leap?
Oh wow, that's a really good question. I don't usually share this story. Steep to Perfection, or actually not even Steep to Perfection, but just the idea of having a tea business came to me in 2017, right? Years ago. I said to my brother, hey, like, I want to start a tea business. And he was like, let's do it. Like, let's go. And I was like, okay. And just like, continue building my career and continue doing like the 9 to 5 kind of thing. And it literally just laid dormant until this past summer. That was my first summer doing tea events. And it's always this thought of like, okay, like I have to wait until I know more, or like I have to wait until I feel more confident. And let me tell you, that first event, I was just as nervous. I was just as feeling not confident. It was nothing changed, but the time, right? The years passed. I didn't feel any different. I didn't, you know what I mean? And so at that moment, before I signed up for my first event, I was like, what am I waiting for? Like, what am I waiting for? Like, literally, like, nothing else is going to come to me unless I go get it. I had this idea, it's an amazing idea, but now what, right? So, throughout those years, I would like journal different things. And I look back in my journals now, and when I tell you I have like 10 of them, and it's just like different tea notes, different tea flavors, different post ideas. And I go through, I'm like, oh, wow, like I thought of this, but like that was just it. Like it didn't leave the notebook, it didn't leave the journal. And so I'm like, all right, like if I don't just push myself to do it, then like I'm just gonna continue to it just continue to be an idea. So in that moment, I had just resigned from my job. I was just feeling like I threw myself into the work world. And I kind of like forgot who Akiah was. I forgot the passion behind like why I do what I do, right? I love youth development, but you can get into a cycle of like go to work, help this kid, help this parent, help this, do that, and then go home and sleep, come back and do the same thing. And that's really where I was at. And so once I resigned, I was just like with myself, right? It was just me and Akiah in the room. And it's like, what are you gonna do now, right? You're gonna go find another job and continue that cycle, or are we gonna now, put a little spice and be a little passionate about what you're doing? And so I was nervous. I do this thing where like I'll put in my information and I'll click submit without looking. And
Yes.
in my head, I'm like, all right, that didn't happen. And so that's what I did. And but I knew once I did that, it was real. Like I wouldn't have like just not shown up. I wouldn't have like done it and and just not followed through. So there was like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like you kind of got to be delusional. You kind of just be like, all right, I'm booking it. I didn't have a tablecloth. I didn't have a bottle. I didn't have a stay. I didn't have anything. And I just booked the first event. And I just said to myself, by that date, you have to have everything. And I just did it. And since then, like, man, tapping into your passion, like, it just opens up so many different opportunities, right? This is where I met Tashida at one of the events. So many different opportunities. You meet different people, you're in different rooms, and it just feels so fulfilling more than what you can get from working towards someone else's dream. You have to work towards it. So, yeah, delusion is my answer to your question.
Actually, it's really funny that you say that because Ty and I really feel like a lot of the conversations, obviously, we usually have together, but like we did talk about the importance of having like some delusionality inside of it. And
Yes.
also finding your people that can actually help you enhance that delusion, but also help you really find a track, though.
Yes.
Not just be like, just
Like
go
you
with
just
my
don't do
girl.
it and figure it out. Like, no, okay, we
Yeah.
got it. We got the delusion. Now let's make a plan to
Yeah,
how we go
to get to
execute
that
this.
point and pivot wherever need be because
That
like
part.
there's nothing wrong with that, but like it's like just to be able to go from ideation into actuality is like
Yes. Yeah.
It's scary and it doesn't get any less scary. So
No.
whether you do it now, tomorrow, 5 years, it doesn't get any less scary. It just feels better once you do it.
Yes, exactly. And I really do like the way that it was said in terms of the fact of you have to have the dream within yourself that you want to do it, and then you find the people and the support around you that helps to enhance that, because then no matter how you look at it, I always say it, and also because it's been said to me by many mentors, is that you have to make the step. But if you're not nervous about something, if you're not scared, if you're not having those butterflies, then you know that you're not pushing yourself enough. If you're in your comfort zone, if you're like, this is my safe space, in order for you to elevate and achieve what you want, you almost have to have those little, like, okay, this is nervous, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up for myself, for my business, and for my clients.
Yeah.
Yes.
and even
So,
touching on the yourself thing is your future self too. Like because that is a person who like you're really looking to, match the energy for. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
exactly. And to kind of also go into that as well, because of your brand and because of your lessons that you've learned even early on in terms of when you originally started, and then you just like, nothing happened. And then you're like, hold up, wait. I have a dream and I want to do this. What do you feel like has been your biggest obstacle or challenge in the works of it in terms of with you starting it last year, even till now, and then what you're trying to overcome to get to yourself to what you want to do by the end of the year?
Yeah. So two things. One is inner, one is outer. So the kind of inner challenge is just the same feeling of what you mentioned, Sarah, wanting to go back to comfort. It's safe there, you know. I don't have to talk to people there. I don't have to, you know, it just feels good to be in comfort. And a lot of times it happens subconsciously. Like you'll or even like for example, I find a lot of vending events on Instagram. So I'll be scrolling and I notice that when I start to feel like I want to go back to comfort, I'll like save the post. I won't really, you know, inquire. I'll just save it and I'll just keep scrolling. And so I started to do that without even noticing. And then it'll like you won't notice until you pass like 5 events and a whole month passed. You didn't do anything. And so it's catching myself when I'm getting back in that comfortable realm and pushing myself. Like I get motivation from other people, right? I have a mentor, I have a family who support me, but you know, thanks guys. All right, thanks. You know, you can still go back if you don't push yourself. So that's definitely one thing that I'm still really, I've definitely grown, but I'm still really working on noticing those key things to be able to be like, nope, like do it, Kaya, like don't just save it, inquire. You know what I mean? So that is definitely one that I'm working on. And then outwardly, there's a lot. And so like if you, for example, when I was getting the website started, right? We spoke about like all these ads you'll get, all these even people or like these scams, these I got an inbox from this person who wasn't even a real person saying like, hey, I got your name from a close friend of mine, and it wasn't even a real person. And so navigating that, right, you have to be focused and you have to know what's a quality resource and what's a good resource for you. And so you know, it's navigating that without spending tons on trials and stuff like that, and just sticking to whatever it is you try. So that's one thing that I'm still, you know, figuring out, kind of navigating. It definitely helps to have the support of you guys, of my mentors, and knowing what's a good resource so that I can stick to it. Because right, that's how these two goes hand in hand. Once I try something and it doesn't work out, or like when that person inboxes me and I'm like, oh, you want to try my teas, but you're not even a real person. That made me want to like not check my inbox. That made me want to like not, you know what I mean? And they wanted to just go back into that comfort realm. So yeah, it's just I don't know if there's like an overarching theme for those two, but those two would definitely be the two that I'm really working on.
No, and you like I said, you touched on some good parts, especially too, especially with a lot of the bots, a lot of the people who are not real and the scammers and things of that manner, because that's a big thing, especially you'll get it whether it's social media or things and just messages or emails. And then after a while, you're like, okay, I'm just filtering all of that out because even in the beginning, I was like, am I the only person who's getting all these? And then the more you're out there too, and the more you're showing up and the more you're out there and the more you're consistent, you get them even more. And at one time I was like, am I doing something wrong? Because why am I getting so many of these? Like this, like I'm like this kid. And then I started talking to people like, oh, okay, this is just a thing. Okay. And I was like, let me just get back to my business and all y'all just could go into this little spam folder or y'all go to delete one or the other. But that's so true. Cause I was like, I was like, am I doing something? I literally felt like I was doing something wrong. 'Cause I'm like, how am I getting this? I'm like, nobody else gets this. And then I talk to people, they're like, oh yeah, I get that. I'm like, oh, it's not
Yeah.
just me. Okay.
And I'm the quickest to like junk mail spam. Like, leave me alone. Let me be.
Yeah. Like, but then it's like you want to because like, you know, I want to be this new person. I want to take these new opportunities. Like you want that to be real, but then it's not. And it's like, dang, that's disappointing, you
Yeah.
know?
But it's also good too that of you seeing it and realizing it on, because there are some people who they see it and they don't realize it, and then they fall into the fact of they either sent money or something happened and it wasn't a person, or they're not getting anything in return, and it's one of those things. But it's I feel like it's one of those things that's never talked about, how much you get, and you own the more you're out there, the more they come. I just got that. They don't phase me. I'm like, oh, it's another one, delete, or it's another one, delete. And then they want you to click on a link, or they want you to send you money. I'm like, delete, spam, junk, all of the above.
And I also feel like even before when you were saying like you're not expecting that. It's because like naturally you know that as a person, you're not looking to do any harm or like, lie about things to other people. So you assume the same thing. And then it's kind of like you realize quickly on like, okay, but now we have to do the boundaries and the guardrails to protect myself from all of
Hmm?
these. And there was also something else that you were saying before earlier, where it was just basically about just being in your own head, and also just like I feel like having your subconscious naturally be there to, of course, being there to protect you, but also it being the problem because it's stopping you from actually like progressing, because you're like, oh, like this is scary, like seeing other events, I don't think I want to go out there and do that right now. So I thought that that was a pretty good touch point. And for my final question before we go into also the icebreaker, though, I just wanted to know, well, we just all wanted to know, what is the best setting that you found gets you grounded and relaxed?
In terms of make creating or just in general?
Both. Let's do both.
Ooh, okay. So I would say like in terms of like the creating process, solitude. Solitude is my thing. A nice dim light, put some incense on, open a window maybe. Just solitude, most importantly. It just gives me space to think. I know the thinking is in my head, but it just makes it feel like I can flow, I can try things, I can just, I'm just, free, it feels like. So definitely solitude is my thing because it just makes my brain be able to flow a little bit better. And then when it comes to events and just like places that make me feel, just like the most spirited, I love, love, love being around creatives. I love, and that can be in any sense, right? If they're chefs, if they're painters, whatever it is, if it's your thing and you're passionate about it.
So yeah, so definitely that is was amazing, and it's definitely so good to really hone in on what your mission is, your purpose, everything of that manner. And it's really truly inspiring. So we definitely appreciate that from you. So now we're gonna go into a fun fact. Star, you got this?
Yes. So beyond your love for tea, what's one fun or unexpected fact about yourself that might surprise all of us?
Ooh, okay. So I love family. I love being around loved ones, right? Chosen family to the point that I allow them to kidnap me and take me skydiving. I didn't know we were going that day. My mother said, get ready, like wear like sports attire and like just get in the car. And I was like, okay, yeah, everybody's coming. Let's go. Yeah. We went to get my grandfather. So I thought it was a safe trip. I thought we were going to eat. I thought maybe we were going to like a bouncy house or something. And we pulled up to a field. And I'm like, this is like, what's going on here? And then I saw a person coming down from the sky. And I'm like, wait a minute. What is going on here? And my mother was like, yeah, we're going to like
Yeah.
excited. We're going to start diving. And I'm like, okay, we call my grandfather Papa. I'm like, okay, why we got Papa? He's going too, yeah. So he went not once, but twice.
Oh my God.
He enjoyed it so much, they allowed him to go again. And now I couldn't do that, right? God allowed me to come down once, safe.
Count my blessings.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it
I'm,
was
I'm,
fun. Like I'm happy I did it, and we were there already, so I couldn't punk out.
yeah.
I couldn't not
First
go.
off, you already got your grandpa going.
Right. And also you were kidnapped. And we're like, the only
Like,
way
hold
to
up.
go back around is from up.
Right,
Grandpa going,
right.
I don't got nothing to say.
Right, right. So I was like, yeah, I have to do it. But now, since then, though, anything I'm like, oh, I want skydiving. I could do this. Like, that's
Right.
what
Yeah,
I in
oh
my
yeah.
head. I jumped out of an airplane. I could do this. So actually, at one of the events, so like, I get kind of nervous before I have to like start engaging with people. I don't know why. It's just like it happens. And so I told myself, all right, skydiving. I know to do this. Before that, it was I went on the King of the Car. I could do this. Nothing beats skydiving. Nothing beats skydiving. It's scary.
You're
Like
jumping out of a
you
plane.
feel every second of it. Yeah, that too. The plane has no door. It has no seats, and it's wild. It's ghetto, but it's fun. It's exciting. If anyone else get kidnapped, I hope they take you to go skydiving because
Excuse me, I'm usually the one kidnapped in my family, so I barely ever know where I am. It's like, where are we going?
Like,
I don't know. So I connect with that.
Yeah.
Also, be careful with like saying like exactly like the highest peak that you've done, because clearly they heard King the Ka and they were like, oh,
oh
we can tell.
no.
I didn't think about. Oh, you're right.
You're like skydiving next to
They're
space.
like, yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
I can't think of anything else though that would be more than skydiving.
Don't worry, they will.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
want to
You can never say never, because you can never say never, because they're pretty sure there's something out there.
Oh,
Really cool though.
I just like how like you guys showed up and she's like, yeah, we're just going skydiving. Like, oh, we just showed up to the movie theater. We're about to go see like there's a whole person coming from the sky right now. Like,
wild.
are they coming with us somewhere?
As a constantly confused person, everything that you spoke of, I was like, yeah, I can see that happening to me. Like some of it actually by ties. So like,
Yeah,
no
you're right.
worries.
Yeah,
I
you're
know
right.
better now. So now I look on her GPS. I'm like, where are we going?
You're like,
I gotta mentally prepare first.
you're like, because clearly,
And then get that Uber ready from that
exactly. Like,
location.
hold up. Okay,
You gotta go.
location.
Y'all
Right?
call me
That's
once,
all I know.
that's
If I
it.
call, but it was really fun though. It was really fun, and I think if she would have told me, I wouldn't have gone.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh, 100%. That's why
yeah,
you had to be
100%.
kidnapped.
Right.
Like Popeye's gonna be there. You're great.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that was like your safety. They like, oh, he's here. Okay, we're good. Nothing we're gonna do is too crazy. And then you're
Something
like,
I know.
you got a reality check real quick. Like, hold up.
Yeah, that was wild, but that was fun.
Exactly. No, I definitely truly love that. And definitely, and to come to our conclusion, success is never a solo journey. It takes a community, collaboration, and connection. How can our audience become part of your journey and help with your mission or your next steps for anything you have coming up?
Yes, so you guys can tap into my social media at Steaped To Perfection. Also, in my bio is all of my links, so you guys can check out the website. You can bring the experience home for yourself with the loose leaf combos. You guys can also pop out to any one of my pop-ups. I have the calendar up. Love doing those around everywhere. So you guys can also reach out and let me know of any experience you have going on. I'm also a big giver, right? I'm into charity. As I mentioned, one of my passions is youth development. So I definitely partner with a lot of nonprofit organizations, after school programs, just to make their events just a little bit better. So any of that, any community-based organizations, reach out. I'm here to partner. I am here to just, spread the love of tea. So check out my social media, website, all of that. I don't bite. You can inbox me. You can recommend a flavor, all of that. I'm here and I speak.
Love
And
that.
that goes into how like tea is really like taken in a positive light too, because you can
Yeah.
actually like use it to help drink, rejuvenate yourself, the whole
Yeah.
nine.
And hydrate healthily too.
Yes. Like especially
Yeah, all of my teas are lightly sweetened with agave. So no white sugar, none of those harsh, additives or anything like that. No coloring. They're all a shade of brown. So it is no artificial anything. It's made with love, most importantly. So
Yes.
that's definitely part of what's being shared.
Love it. Love it.
And to, wrap things up in a beautiful bow, we just wanted to make sure that we gave a huge thank you to Akiah for sharing her journey and reminding us that the simple cup of tea can be a luxurious escape. So if you're ready to experience tea in a whole new way, as she said, be sure to check out Steeped To Perfection and follow Akiah on social media for new flavors, pop-up events, and also opportunities. And also just wanted to say thank you as well to the audience for tuning in. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a fellow tea lover, especially a tea lover. So until next time, keep building, keep growing, and stay inspired. See you soon.
Bye.